So I said I was gonna do it for you guys, and here it is. This is my spoilerish discussion for the last season of You. Now I know it took a while, but I wanted to give people time to marinate on my review and also watch the full season. I mean, I don't know what people are waiting for. This show has been out a week already. But hey, I digress. People got lives. Winter has finally decided to leave us. Spring is here. Summer's right around the corner, and people are just anxious to be outside. So I get it. That being said, there are going to be huge spoilers in this. So don't come for me in the comments if you think that I'm not gonna be talking about shit you should have watched already. Okay. You have been warned. In this video, we're gonna be talking about specifically how the show ended. This is gonna be just straight up raw thought of how I felt about the season. I've been watching you since season one. I've absolutely loved every season for it. I know some seasons are a mixed bag for some people. I think season four was one of those seasons that people were just like, huh, what's going on here? Season four is one of those seasons that people don't really like. And I get it. You know, season three is one of those seasons where you're like, okay, he finally found love, literally, and they're thriving, and you want him to do better. Like you're cheering Joe on. You want him to have a normalish life, right? But you realize that he's with someone who is just as insane as him. And you kind of want to watch that. You want to watch him be with someone who is his equal and can give him exactly what he gives out. And honestly thought that this was going to be some crazy power couple kind of thing, but honestly I feel like that might have went off into a totally completely different show, which I wouldn't have been mad about that. You know, I'm just saying, like, season three was a really strong season for me. I really did enjoy it. You know, you go and you're like, man, you're cheering Joe on, but then you're like, bro, you're going back to the same thing again. Like, come on, man. Like, you when would you learn type of deal, you know? Season four comes out, he goes to a whole new country, becomes a totally different person. You're like, okay, maybe he'll change his life. But then you realize he hasn't changed at all. He's still the same person, just in a different country, you know? And at this point, you're like, bro, how much more can this guy get away with? And I think a lot of people, when they first started watching season five, I felt like a lot of people, including myself, felt like Joe was actually gonna end. Like he wasn't gonna live through the season, you know? Even with the posters, you kind of see him, drowning in a pool of blood. You it kind of feels like Joe might not make it out of this. And honestly, I would have loved that ending. Now, I'm gonna say it. The way season five ends, I completely understand why they did it. They want to show people a kind of happyish ending. They want to tie up loose ends, bring everybody in. As you see that there's, girls from the past, they're kind of like cleaning up their conscience a little bit, And I can understand that. I just, I was kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie. Episode nine is the setup piece. Personally, if this season would have ended in episode nine, I wouldn't have been mad at it. Honestly, wanted to see him go out in a blaze of glory, even though I know that it wouldn't have wrapped up the story for a lot of people. The therapist in first season would have still been in jail. Like he would have never got retribution for the victims. And I understand that that's a part of the story that they wanted to tell. And it's very important that they give that kind of, they showcase that, But I still feel like Joe honestly made it off easy. In episode nine, he finally gets set up by Kate, and you're like, okay, he's about to get it. He is cornered, okay? He's done so much to even, he's sewn a key into his arm. Like, we've never even seen his level of insanity for that. Like, that's a new level, and we've been with this guy for 5 seasons, and we've never seen him think about literally cutting his arm and putting a key in it. You realize you're like, holy crap, like he might get out of this. And the crazy part is that we're cheering for him. Like, we want him to get out of it. Like what is wrong with us? We're watching this guy be a complete psychopath, but somehow we keep rooting for him to get away with what he's getting away with. And it's like, there's a genius in that with the writing and the storytelling and the editing. And like, that's why I feel like this show is so good because it plays onto like reality of stuff, right? Like, Ted Bundy's of the world, how he used to get love letters all the time, but this man, he literally murdered a bunch of women, but somehow women still wanted to love him and marry him and write him love letters while he was in jail. And that was the point of this. They showcased that in very much a lot of stuff with the social media posts, how he like had to kind of convince the masses that he wasn't the bad person that people were saying he was. You know, he should have been done for. Okay. But because of his privilege, he kind of had the ability to explain to himself, you know, and it was interesting to see even how when he was on the chopping block, it was very much a damage to his image, right? He still was allowed to walk through the streets. Nobody really cared. It looked at him weird, but it was a lot different once he flipped it and made it on Bronte. Once Bronte became the source of the anger of the people that was out there, the way society treated her was completely different. They literally went after her. And it shows how different society can be between men and women. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I thought that was an interesting tidbit that they put for this. But the reason why I say I think episode 9 is a better ending is if he doesn't make it out of that basement, then the evil is done with him. He can no longer hurt anybody else. Yes, at the end of episode 10, he does do life in prison, but he's still a threat. And that's the crazy part because you like somehow, some way, this man's gonna end up out of there. There's just no way because we know the track record of what he's done. We've known the track record of how his luck is. Okay. Yes, everybody's story has been wrapped up, but he's still getting love letters from people. He's still getting that communication from women. He can still make them fall in love with him, you know, and that was a huge part of this season as well. It's like his power to make women fall in love with him and to kind of make an excuse of his insanity as being a act of love, an act of service. You know what I mean? And it really kind of tricks the viewer in it. You guys can put it in the comments which episode you felt was a better ending, whether it was 9 or 10. I get it. Like I said, I understand why they did episode 10. It wraps up the story in a complete whole. It gives people a happy ending, so to speak. I just wanted him to go down in that fire. I really did. I don't know if it's because season 3 he almost did, but I just wanted the evil to end. I felt like that would have been great. You know, also as he died in that flame, they could have wrapped up the story in the media the way they did in the past. You know, they could have done that without Joe being alive and still gotten that retribution. I also don't understand how did Kate end up out of the basement? Like she 100% died in there. Like she got shot in the stomach and it was on fire. Who came and saved her? How did she get out of that? That's the main question that I have because, like, I for sure thought she was dead in there. I for sure thought she was done. I don't know. What are your theories on that, man? Let me know because I have no idea. That's really what I got to say about this season. I absolutely love the show You and everything that it kind of makes you feel and how you go through the journey through it and how each season feels like a different type of book. As I said in my previous review, if you haven't watched that, wait to the end of the video so you can go ahead and do that. I'll have a link in the description as well. But yeah, man, I cannot wait to see what the future holds. Where does this go from here? I want a spinoff, honestly. Like, I low key want to follow Love Quinn around, bro. Like, can we bring her back? Give her her own thing. Give her her own show before she met Joe. Honestly, that would have been a dope show. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That'd be crazy. That being said, what did you think about You? Leave it down in the comments. This is the spoiler video, so you can go ahead and speak however you want to speak on this. If you don't want to see that, go to the other video. First of all, why'd you even watch this far if you didn't want to watch all these spoilers? Look, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and turn that notification bell on because it does help out. And remember, life is too short to watch bad TV, so let me help you with that. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of the video. You must have liked it, so hit that subscribe button. And if you want to watch the next video, it's right here, man. Go ahead. What you waiting for?